let's just jump right into it.
Did I say S? I meant gluteus maximus.
And that made it onto the recording.
Gluteus maximus?
And you saying your ass.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Just speaking facts.
And that is our cold open, apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello. Wait, welcome
You
to the
talking
Grip Grip
about
channel.
your ass?
We are here to talk about a movie that we just watched. It's about neighbors and watching your neighbors, just like Mr. Rogers. Called Neighborhood Watch, and it is with Negan and Huey. And if you don't know them,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Jack Quaid.
yes, those two. And the main character is Jack Quaid, and he has like mental
He's basically pretty
disabilities.
schizophrenic, I think, is the term they use.
He's schizophrenic. He constantly sees a naked man, and when it gets really bad, he can't hear, and he starts speaking in word salad. And he's been in the hospital many times. And one day he's like walking from work or a doctor's appointment or whatever,
Doctor's appointment,
yeah. And he sees a girl getting kidnapped, and he tries to. He has a voice in his head that's saying, "Oh, you're not gonna save that girl. You have no chance," basically. And he sees this girl getting kidnapped, and he goes to the police and describes what happened. And they look into him and they say, we don't really believe you because of your past medical hospitalizations and schizophrenic episodes and stuff like that.
Paranoid schizophrenic is what.
So he goes and knocks on his neighbor's door because he's like a former cop, or he thinks he's a former cop, but he's actually a
former college security.
Yep, the head of security. And he knocks on his door and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here! I don't want anything to do with you." And that man's name is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I don't remember his name in the
Ed Deerwood.
Abu?
Or Dearman. Ed Dearman.
Ed Dearman. He is as we said before, a retired security guard.
Forced retirement.
Oh, it was forced retirement? Okay.
Yeah, because he was basically fired.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Because that every time he goes to the college, they're like, you aren't supposed to be here. We got rid of you.
Yep, that happened. And anyways,
First of all, you're introduced with him just sitting in college cafeteria witnessing a guy stealing muffins. And what does he do? Does he tackle him? No. Does he mace him? No. He sprays sanitizer in his eyes.
Yep, and that's very deadly apparently. So he is brought to the. Anyways, he brings this guy up, is retold like, hey, you can't be here anymore. You need to leave, and he's like, all right, whatever. We find out that he doesn't have a whole lot of money. He likes to gamble, and he's losing his hearing. He has a lot of medical conditions, and he doesn't listen to the doctors really because he doesn't want to take his pills. He's just lost all his money thanks to online gambling. When Huey knocks on his door again, and Huey's distraught. He's like, they captured this girl. I thought you were a former cop. Come and help me. And he's just like, fine. If it gets you off my ass, then I'll help you. So they go investigate the license plate. He doesn't have the money, so they have to go to the DMV. There's a situation where Huey has kind of an episodic
breakdown.
Breakdown, and he tosses this phone. It's hard for him to look into people's eyes, and so she is about to call the cops, and we'll just call him Negan. Negan's like, no, or don't worry about this. I just need to get these license plate numbers. He's denied, and so because of the episodic thing, they leave, and he's like, all right, that's it.
And the DMV person calls
the cops.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right, for like whatever reason, he has nothing better to do. I guess he's like, all right, I guess we'll look around, and they know that he was. They go to the alley where she was. He asks, "Are you?" Was she? She must have been a working girl, huh? She's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what kind of job he had." He's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! Okay, we're done."
Basically, only thing he knows about her is very short skirt and makeup.
Yeah, and she was kidnapped. That's all he knows. And
And
so,
one thing I did like is the fact when it shows the kidnapper, it actually showed like in the movie his face blurred out.
yep, we're seeing what Huey is seeing.
Yeah, I like
It's hard
that.
for him to see.
I like that effect.
Yep, that was nice. And then you don't know who it is. Um, anyways, basically, what happens next is they do some more investigating. They interview a prostitute. The pimp comes and damages his car, and he's like, "All right, we gotta drive off." They have dinner. He this is very vital to the story. They have dinner at this restaurant, and he orders a shit ton of food, and he punches the last two tickets
On a
on his
free
punch
meal
card.
card.
Yeah, on his punch card, and he's like, "Next time I get a free meal, right?" She's like, "Yes." Um, so he gets that, and he's super happy about it because it's a free meal. Um,
Who isn't happy about free meals?
yeah, exactly. This is actually vital to the plot. Actually,
I'm only
like,
laughing
seriously.
because it's true.
Seriously, it's vital to the plot. So then they do some more investigating. They find a junkyard, and they're like, "Yeah, you can look around or whatever." And they find the car that was listed in the license plates, but it was because it was stolen. They don't know where to go next. So they basically go home, and then Negan at night gets attacked, and Huey sees it, and there's a scuffle. Huey actually comes in and shoots the guy. Now he's dead, and they're like, "Well, shit." So they go to his sister's.
First of all, we find out he has partners.
Yep, he has partners. That's true.
And that they will possibly kill her if they don't hear from him.
Uh huh. And so now Negan got attacked. He's bleeding. So Huey's sister is working at a salon. She's training to be a nurse. She gets blood on a towel, and she's helping a customer at the time this happens. She gets paid in cash
$110
from the customer.
for a coloring.
Yep. God damn. And
That is quite a lot.
the customer notices blood on her hand, so she calls the cops, and now the cops are looking for Huey's character,
Simon McNally.
Simon McNally, and
Or no, they're looking because when they left the house, people were outside calling the cops because they witnessed them
exactly
and heard the gunshot.
Yep, and so they go to the sister's place of work, saying, "Hey, we got another call about blood on your hands, and you are the brother of this person that we're also looking for. We need to put two and two together." So she distracts the cops while Huey and Negan break out the back. They avoid their car, knowing that their car would probably be tracked. Get on this bus. They don't have money, and the lady's like, "It's $1.25 each," and they're like, "Crap, we don't have money." And he pulls out his punch card. He's like, "Hey, this is good for a free meal. Do you want it?" And she's like, "Well, fuck yeah, I want it." And so they're able to get on the bus.
No, wait, do I get a shake?
Oh, yeah. Do I get a shake? Oh, fuck yeah, you get a shake. He's like, "Okay." They're able to get on the bus, and they go. Oh, right. They call on the phone. There's two numbers in the phone because those are the partners. It's K and P or something.
I think it was A.
I don't remember. It doesn't really matter.
K. We never see the third person.
No, that's the mystery of it. We still don't know. But anyways, K is the junkyard that they went to previously, and they know that the guy that they just killed was a partner to this K guy, and so they're like, all right, now we get to question him. And throughout this whole time, like Negan is helping Huey through his troubles. He teaches him how to look in people's eyes. Teaches them to like calm down. He gives them a pen
pen to
to
just press
focus.
the button.
He likes this. The sound helps him focus because he loses his ability to hear when he's having a freak out, when he gets excited or scared or whatever. And so Negan is there to actually help him instead of beating him in the face with a bat. Anyways, sorry, Len.
And Abraham.
Yeah. Um, what happens next? Oh right, they go interrogate the K guy, and he sprays them with
Sanitizer.
And he's like, "Oh, we can get a bucket of water. You can tell me what I want to know, or we can sit here, whatever." Um, and they get the information of the house, and they call the cops on him anyways.
But first, how they get the proof?
The clock.
Yep.
There's a special clock which you can hide certain stuff. It's like a little vault, security vault.
And Huey notices it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they find all the passports of their victims.
Yep. And we find out that this junkyard guy is the middleman. He's like, I don't know much. Here's the house. I just dropped the plates off there, and that's all I know. And so they tie him up, call the cops. Now the cops have him. And they go to this house. It's completely empty, and they're searching and searching and searching. Negan finds some resumes of these girls that have been missing, and they search the entire house, and they give up. They're like, oh man, we failed. We can't find them. And all of a sudden, like, then an older woman like pops out with an axe, and they look at her like, well, what's happening? And she's like, I don't think she even says anything.
No, she doesn't.
No, she just like looks at them like, oh, you're not gonna come after me? Okay, I'm gonna drop this axe and run the fuck out of here. And they're all confused, like, because Huey, the important thing is that Huey hears noises, but he doesn't know if they're hallucinations or not. And he always asks Negan like, hey, did you hear that? But because Negan has hard of hearing, he doesn't hear as much. He denies it every time, but he definitely has hard of hearing. And Huey was
not only
right
that, but
he did hear a noise.
Also a concussion. Concussion can also be a part of it too.
Yeah, but he had hearing problems before the concussion, and that was evident when the first time he's like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you're mumbling. She's like, no, I'm not, sir. You just can't fucking hear. Another cool thing. Oh, let's finish the synopsis before we go on other stuff. So, anyways, they hear the noise. This woman falls down. They go back upstairs into this closet, and they finally find the girl, and they get arrested but they found the girl, which is nice. So that's the end of that movie. But what's cool in this movie is the little details of the characters. So Negan has this thing where he says, I can tell if people are lying or not.
But
if they're blinking too much or not blinking at all. So people who are telling the truth will look at you and just blink, but if they're lying, they'll look you straight in the eye and not blink, or they will blink too much. Yep. Yes. Let's see. What's another thing?
And apparently,
the lock. The lock. He called it a tubular lock. I think it was. So
very easy to break into. Apparently.
So he was like criticizing the new head of security. He's like, you got these locks for bikes. These are very easy to steal from. Or break into these tubular locks or circular it doesn't matter. Tubular locks. So at the end of the movie, there's a tubular lock on this thing that's hiding the girl, and he's like, "Oh, I can break into this no easy." And he's just, I just need a pen. Okay, cool.
Breaks the
Gets the
pen,
pen.
gets the ink cartridge to do it.
Yep. And they find the girl that way. What else was cool? Huey's condition.
Yeah.
Um,
And the whole explanation of it.
he sees like this naked man, and apparently it's his father.
It was
He
very
died.
abusive.
He died. We learn that his sister, who's going to classes, she ran away at the age of 16 to get away from him and left Simon with his dad. And he was like mentally abused, physically abused, all that stuff, which is why Simon has a lot of these problems. Um, we don't know how the. Did they say how the dad died?
No.
Or no? Okay. Um, yeah, we don't know how the dad died, but he died, and he still will. If he's having a bad episode, he will literally see his dad, like as a hallucination.
And the hallucination always shuts him down.
Yeah,
Like,
and he has a voice talking to him like, "You can't do this. Oh, you're not gonna find the girl. Oh, the cops are gonna come and get you. There's nothing you can do. Um, just stay in your corner and hide, you little bitch." Or that's what it's saying to him, pretty much. Uh,
I really like the chemistry between Jack Quaid and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
yeah, like with the pen at the end.
Yeah.
Like he's having a really bad episode and he sees his dad um, on this front porch of the house where the girls are in, and he's just having a hard time. He can't hear anything, and Negan has this pen. He's clicking up and down. He's like, "Focus on the noise. Focus on the noise. Here, have this pen." At that point, I was like, "Oh shit, Negan's gonna die now," because I thought the last partner would have been in the house. Luckily for them, we didn't see the third partner. But
unless if it was the lady. Could have been the lady. The old lady.
Yeah, it could have been.
It never really says it.
What was she doing? Well, yeah, they wouldn't have an older person, so it could have been her. Because she didn't say anything.
Also in the house, like we see oxygen tanks, a walker in the bedroom, like stuff like that. Which
right, yeah, I was like, are they in just a regular house? Like that's right. They had the oxygen tank, the makeshift toilet.
Yep.
There. So it could have been her because she looked like super old and she looked like a smoker or whatever. So she could have been the last partner.
She looked like Bigfoot.
Yeah, she was Sasquatch.
Like from the commercials, the Bigfoot commercials.
You mean the Jack Links?
Or no, yeah, Jack Links.
Yeah.
Or the caveman.
Oh, okay. She's probably married to the caveman.
But she looked like a combination of.
She was both. If she was in the house like that and didn't even let the girl go, she was
probably an accomplice.
Definitely like hiding up there. She unlocked it, hid in there, and said, "Don't you move, whatever. I don't know who's here." And after they went downstairs, she thought that they left, but they were just sitting down there and talking. And she comes down with an axe and is like, "Oh, you're not gonna do anything to me? Okay, all right, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here." And then they find the girl. We don't. But they just found the one girl.
Yep.
But apparently there's 3 more. We don't know where that is. Will there be a second movie? Probably not, because these are 2 actors that are highly sought after.
I think they'd bet, because they did say that the one that Anya, the one that they found, was being disobedient, so she was already like on the street as a sex worker, and she tried to run away.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they captured her.
They had to make an example out of her, so they probably think that she's dead or something. But I guess they're just hiding her. So the others are
probably on the streets.
Yeah.
For all we know, it could have been the ones we saw, the ones that they questioned. For all we know.
Yeah, we don't know. But that was under a different pimp, though.
You never know.
But they could have been waiting to sell them, or it could have been a possible destination that she buys girls with human trafficking.
Yep.
Um, so there's that. Um, but what else? What else happened? We had the
What the one I just watching the trailer, I knew that Jack Quaid and Jeffrey Dean Morgan would probably be a good fit.
yeah.
Just
I feel like
through
if it
the
was
trailer, it looked like they like the comedy just from the trailer seemed like they bounced off each other,
yeah,
which they did
like
in the movie.
I feel like if they casted like anyone else, this movie would have sucked, like really bad. But with these two, they made it because I mean, if you think about it, the story wasn't that good. It was kind of a slow, like you kind of knew what was going to happen. They were going to find the girl, but because of their chemistry, um, it made it entertaining to watch. And I can I would assume, I would hope that the actors Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Jack
Jack Quaid.
Wade like improvised, or like, hey, we need to add something to the character to make them relatable. And the story is basically Negan finding a purpose in helping Jack Quaid, or Huey, and Huey, you know, in the arc,
Overcoming his schizophrenia,
overcoming his
disability.
disorder, disability, or whatever. And he's not 100% over it, but like with the eye contact thing, that was a big um, bonding moment. And then he also, like, when he was freaking out, he just like held him. He's like, "Hey, nothing's there. You're fine." Because at first Negan was just like, "Get the fuck out of here, you fucking freak." You know, he didn't want to talk to him. Didn't want to see him. You're just like a weird dude. And he comes to, you know, start believing in Huey, and
Especially
they
when he
come
got
together.
a shotgun to the head.
Oh yeah, that was a good bonding moment too. Yeah, like the balls on Huey, like to go in there. Like I thought he was, I literally thought he was gonna call the cops, but he was probably thinking. I was also thinking at the same time, like, well, if it's me calling the cops won't fucking come because they won't fucking believe me. So he went in there himself, and he grabbed the 8 ball, tried to make a distraction by throwing it, and of course the bad guy who's like over Negan, he's just like, why are you following me? Why are you looking for me? He immediately turns to Huey. Because he knows is like, oh, someone's behind me. But then Negan stabs the guy with the pen in the leg, and then Huey grabs the gun and he's able to fend him off. And they're talking for a little bit, and he's like, "Nah, you're not gonna pull that trigger." And he pulls that trigger. He kills the guy, defending himself. So
I was
third degree.
expecting him to shoot him in the balls.
Yeah.
While they're talking, he's pointing.
He lunged at him, so he shot him in the face.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that he could do. Like, you have a shotgun and someone comes at you with misintent, and he actually shot him. I was surprised that he hit him. So, but I guess if you're that close, it's easy. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you're still here,
I'd give it
if not,
probably a 4 out of 5. I really liked it, but
yeah,
like
it's something you can like watch again.
like we said, if it wasn't for the two actors, it probably would have just been a dull mystery movie.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I did want to say. I want a buddy cop movie with Jack Quaid and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, they were kind of, well, they were fake. They were going around being fake cops.
But
Like, I'm Lieutenant this person. This is Detective blah blah blah.
I'd take the other guys, a version of that with them, and with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, that movie.
I think I saw like clips of that. I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, that would be cool. All right, let's wrap this shit up. All right, thanks for watching. If you're still here, like and subscribe if you want. Whatever, I don't care. We'll see you in the next one. All right,
Which starts right now.
cool.
Because now we're going to do
this is
Detective Conan.
Detective Conan review. Hello and welcome. I'm Skeener, that's Derp Derp. And we're going to do, I think it's 4 episodes?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. 4 episodes of Detective Conan, starting with episode
19.
19.
Or is it
20?
20, yeah.
20?
Yep.
It is called A Haunted Mansion Murder Case. Ooh, so this one is pretty simple. The little girl in the group, she sees like a torch in the window and she thinks it's a ghost. And she gets all of her friends to be like, oh, let's go hunt for ghosts in this creepy old house that nobody's lived in for like 5 years or whatever. And they're like, oh, this house, yeah, someone got murdered and it's been like nobody's done anything in there ever since. So of course they go in there and they sneak in through a secret doorway and they are walking around and slowly 2 of the kids like vanish, and then it's just Conan and this little girl and they're like walking around and they see this woman, and of course the girl is like, oh my god, it's a ghost. No, it's a lady with a tray of food. And so they follow her down the stairs. He gets to use his like suspenders because this trap door is really heavy and they're kids. So he uses his magic suspenders to open the door. They go downstairs and they discover a man in a cell and a woman trying to give him food. And Conan's like, oh, I figured everything out. We learn that, you know, this guy in the cell killed his dad, and that's his mom who's keeping him in there, and he was trying to go to the cops to confess to the crime, and it's eating at him, but she wanted the statute of limitations to go out before bringing him out, and because he's not reasonable, she had to lock him in a cage. And Conan's like, yeah, well, how? I mean, he feels guilty now. How do you think he's gonna feel when he can't get arrested or whatever? And she's like, okay, I'll let him go. And that's pretty much the episode. It's not really a mystery. It's more of an adventure kind of thing. It's like, oh, they found the mystery of this haunted house, and he solved a 5-year-old murder case. Cool.
We were introduced to 3 very inconsequential characters because I absolutely hate the detective boys. Their moms and Ayumi's father. I'm sure they reappear, but there's inconsequential.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to the elasticity suspenders.
Mm-hmm. Allowed him to open the door. It basically pulls everything towards itself. It can do that with a lot of weight. All right, cool.
In one change in the manga, this is actually when Mitsuhiko, Ayumi, and Genta are introduced. They aren't at the roller coasters. They aren't introduced before that, like in the earlier cases. This is where they're actually introduced in the manga.
Oh.
I don't know who Suburaya is, or no, that's Mitsuko's full name. I thought I saw a comma. But yeah, that was episode 20. Not really a mystery. Just adventure. Now on to episode 21. The on location TV drama murder case.
Oh yeah, this one. This one was definitely a murder. Murder happens. So they're on a movie set, and for whatever reason, the detective dad, he is helping one of the actors or something. He gets invited to be on the set or something like that. It doesn't make any sense why
It
he's there.
it's because he's obsessed with her, Yoko Okino.
Oh, he's obsessed with an
Yeah,
actress. Okay, actor.
because yeah, she reappears and he's head over heels with her.
Okay. All right, so they're on the set, and there's a one like creepy looking dude, and he's like talking to one of the actors. One of the I think he was a lead actor or something. Like, oh, I got blackmail on you. You have to give me money. Blah blah blah. And later, that same guy who was blackmailing him winds up dead, and they're all in a hotel, and just after a day of shooting, Conan and the girl Ron or Ron
Yeah,
Ran
Ron,
Ron
Ron.
Ron with an A. They find the body, and they see a message painted in blood. I think if you scroll up, there was a message painted in blood. Yeah, there it is. Can they see it on there on the screen?
Yep.
Okay. So that was a particular message, and having done uh, Japanese writing, I did in high school. There is a specific way to write the different characters, and I find that there was extra symbols added to it to make it look like someone else murdered this person, and so they blamed the lead actor guy who's like a giant douchebag. Um, and he's like, "No, I didn't do it, but it was written in blood. Who else could have done it?" And so there's uh, this guy who works on set and this girl who works on set, and they're set to get married. And long story short, it was the woman who was going to get married that killed him. She killed him because of blackmail, and two, because I don't remember the second reason. But do you remember?
I don't.
Uh, Whatever. Anyway, she was guilty. What was it? If you guys remember,
Or here.
if you guys you want to leave a comment down below of why.
Conf- she accidentally murdered him in a fight because he had blackmailed her about the past. She reveals that she had once been in a bad way and had to hunt out with Anzai and his gang during her high school days.
That's right. She used to roll with him with the gangs until they like killed a guy.
Indirectly causing a robbery.
Right. That's right. They robbed something, and then the guy who was in charge of the place that was robbed killed himself, and so she felt really bad about that. But yeah, they got into a confrontation with. She just like, I don't want to pay money anymore, and they got into a scuffle, so he died.
I forgot it even shows it says the resolution, the situation, and everything.
Yep.
On here.
All right, so that was that mystery solved. They did it. Boom, bing, bang, boom.
Here in this episode, we are introduced to a very reoccurring detective. He isn't really in much of this one, but he's in a lot later on. Riteru Takagi, this guy.
Okay.
He's one of my more favorite detectives. In earlier episodes, he tends to be Conan's kind of bitch boy, like errand boy, like for he uses him for demonstrations a lot.
I like experiments. Let's see if this taser works. Okay.
He's in a lot going forward. He's like one of the main detectives of the police.
right, cool. So that's episode is done, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Or did I? Yeah, there isn't anything trivia or note wise. Now on to the last two of this week, which is a two-part case.
This is the case on the cruise liner.
The luxury liner serial murder case.
Yes, there was a bunch of murders in this one.
This
Well,
is
two, but
this is the first case that's a two episode case.
Yep. So basically, what happens is that they are on an island, and this luxury cruise liner happens to be floating by, and they are picked up. And it's a private wedding party, and this entire family is super like wealthy. They own like islands and stuff. The family does. And there's a wedding. There's this woman. She's like, "Oh, I'm crying because blah blah blah," and they just got married, and the father, the head of the family, he's kind of an asshole. He's just like going around, "Oh, why you drawing those things? Oh, I hate this Western food." It's like his brother, was it a brother or cousin or something like that, had a French restaurant,
yeah.
and he didn't like the food because it was Western. It wasn't Japanese or whatever. And he was like literally the only one that didn't like the food, so he was kind of a dickwad. But anyways, later in the episode, the butler finds that the dad was killed, and there was a flower, the same flower that the groom of the wedding was carrying. So it was definitely the groom. Takeshi or something?
Takeshi.
Yeah, Takeshi. As the groom, he is, quickly accused of murder. He gets locked in a storeroom, and then at the end of the episode, the guy that threw him into the storeroom, who is, they're all fighting for the inheritance, and there's a lot of arguments. And they're like, "Oh man, and they find out that after he died, that in his will he gave everything to the bride. And so one of the guys who married this other chick, he's like, "What? If I would have known that you weren't getting any money, I wouldn't have married you." He literally says this, and he immediately dies, which is really funny. He gets killed. And that's the end of the first episode. The second episode is them figuring out the rest of what is happening with this. And so they're all like confined to the dining hall, and they're like, "We got to figure this out. We got to search the entire boat, search in every room," kind of thing. And while everybody's in the dining room, one of the guys who he likes to draw, whatever his name is, this kid who,
Ichiro Hadamoto.
Yeah, he, everybody has like a reason to kill the head of the family, and they're all like fighting over inheritance. So like, "Oh, you want it because you're inheritance. I know you were sleeping with other men. Oh yeah, well if this person died, how convenient. If this person dies, then you get the inheritance." And so everybody's blaming everyone else. And then the drawing kid, he's like, "Well, I'm not scared of anything, blah, blah. I'm just going to go to the bathroom." So he goes to the bathroom, the lights get turned off, and then he gets stabbed. And it's like, "Oh my god, he got stabbed." And Detective Conan is going through the different things. He sees something in a closet, and he's like, "All right, I figured it out." Gets the dad to call in. He's like, "All right, so I know who did it. The first murder," he explains the first murder, second murder. So the first murder, there was no weapon, and the reason why the second person died was because the killer had this knife. He threw the knife, which made a splash sound, which Detective Conan heard. I don't know how he was the only one to hear that, but then the second guy got killed because he saw the first person throw the knife into the water. So he's like, "Well, I can't have any witnesses. All right, you're dead too." And then it was the drawing guy who did it because who he stabbed himself with the knife because he left the knife in the room, blaming like other people. He also had to unlock the storeroom to make it look like because he was trying to frame the Takeshi, and Until Dawn 2. What?
I think it's just fan made.
Oh, okay. Um, and sorry, I'm distracted now. Those are distracting. What was I talking about? Oh, he had to unlock the door because uh, to make it look like Takeshi was still a viable option to be the murderer. Um, but because he did that, it made it look different. And so basically, Takeshi like hid in this closet, and at the end, he reveals Takeshi. Here he is in this closet. I found him. Cool. And tell us your side of the story. And he basically says like, yeah, I just ran away because everybody thought I was the killer, even though I wasn't. And so, what was the seal of the deal was they found out that this guy who paints stuff or does drawings, he does it with charcoal, and to erase charcoal you use breadcrumbs, and a breadcrumb was found at the first murder scene, and it must have been in one of his sleeves or something, and that's what connected him to it, was this bread. So that was that murder case. Open and shut case, Johnson. Just sprinkle a little crack on there.
Not much to mention on the trivia side. First two-part case, as we already said. One reoccurring character introduced, the chef. He appears a few times. The Joji Hatamoto, the French chef. He appears a couple times, but that's about it. I honestly did not know he did until I clicked it, until it said characters introduced, and he's under friends and acquaintances,
Cool story, bro.
minor recurring.
All right, cool. Wow, awesome. All right, cool. So that's the end of that review. Um, more of a not this. This is basically isn't really a review. It's more of a reaction to it. So yeah, thanks for watching our reaction to that. Not live, but just post. And these have been kind of entertaining. Like not really memorable, but more like, oh, how is he gonna solve it now? How is he gonna solve it now? How is he going to solve it now? Like just to see what happens.
It in my opinion, it's just getting its legs. I'm a long time watcher, so I can attest to it. Like when this guy gets introduced, the Kaito kid,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who that is.
he's one of, if not, is my favorite reoccurring villain.
Javier Baez.